The rewind.
Hi everyone, we're back again. Sorry about
Hi,
that.
everyone.
Yeah, no worries.
Had a little
Technical difficulties.
technical difficulties. Yeah, it's the first for us.
Glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah,
So
glitch
that's.
in the Matrix.
I'm not going to mention Russians ever again. Okay?
No.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So this is all right. Let's see. I'm just clicking. Maybe we'll just give some of the punters a minute or two to join us in the new. Oh, there she is, Mrs. Dodgers there. Maybe the other guys might join us in a minute. Cool.
Right. This would be the shortest. I mean, the previous one was the shortest we've ever done. We've always done it in like,
It's like 3 hours.
Oh.
Oh.
Two Thomases.
Now we have really a glitch in the Matrix.
Twins.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yes, hello, Jay Gray. We're just hanging on, and for Dodger and for Mrs. Dodger and people watching, we're just we're rewinding. I think we had some glitches in the previous stream, but we are back up. We're just warming it up for people, and just nice. We're all coming back again. And previous stream, Abdul couldn't catch up, but now Abdul's with us too.
Hi, everyone.
Good to see you, buddy.
Thanks for
Right,
having
Thomas.
me. All is well.
We can continue from where we were. We were talking about the quorum. What was that name? Quorum something.
Golden Bridge. Yeah.
Golden Bridge. Thank you. Why is everybody dressed up in like really thick clothing? Even Abdul's wearing a hoodie.
Pretty cold down here.
Abdul's wearing a hoodie. Thomas is wearing winter clothing.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
just woke
wearing a
up
shirt. No,
and it's
I'm
0
hot.
degrees.
Hot down here.
0 degrees here in Germany at the moment, and
Oh boy!
I didn't open the heaters yet because I just woke up, so I just I have like I think it's inside 12 degrees because I have a thermometer here in the room, so it's like 12 degrees here in the room at the moment. Yeah,
that's shit, man.
Flipping Zippo minus 19.
Minus 19. Oh, flipping. That's hardcore. That reminds me of the time I used to live in the middle of the Black Forest. Like it used to go down to minus 33, and that was really hard. That's.
Where are you at, Flippin? You're in bloody Alaska or something. Jesus.
Yeah, stay warm, Flippin.
And FYI, Jack Daniels doesn't pay me or sponsor me. I'm just making sure to show you guys that I understand your pain, and I will drink to the chilliness where you are. Actually, it's an excuse for me to drink also. So.
That's funny.
Dodger minus 30 here. Gets to minus 30 in wow. Okay. In Polski. Wow.
Are you still getting an echo off of me?
No.
Good.
No,
good.
But we see it. I see another Thomas popping up down below.
Yeah. Right, we'll carry on.
So just to recap, we previously talked about the one Cartier Roadster. We also talked about an Omega with the jumping time. What was the other one? And we did talk about another Cartier Tonneau.
The Omega with we were on the Quorum, and
yes,
now we'll move to Frank Muller, and Frank Muller created the first Tonneau watch in 1982. And he wanted to create a shape that was recognizable and identifiable at first glance. What makes Frank Muller Tonneau even more unique though, is the fact that the case is curved 3-dimensionally, meaning it's also curved on the profile. Frank Muller calls this the Century Curvex. This lets the watch sit comfortably on the wrist, but although makes it incredibly tricky to produce and fit complications into the Frank Muller. And like they have done on many watch churches. And
Thomas,
you can see this.
you feeling all right, mate, or is the
Yeah, I'm getting audio. I'm getting
okay.
my
Audio.
own audio in my ears now, so I don't know how to get rid of that. I'm getting delayed audio in my ears.
Yeah, okay.
Thomas, I have an idea. Let me put your other self on, and then
And
let
take
me.
the other one off.
I'll
Yeah.
drop the other one off. Hang on. Say something, Thomas.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Oh, that's a lot better, mate. Yeah.
Okay, good. Use this one. Use this one.
I'm still hearing it. I'm still hearing it. I've got some audio feedback. I don't know how to. Just let me.
All right, let me support you on this one, Thomas. In terms of, let me give everyone about Frank Miller. So, Frank Miller is also one piece that actually has a lot of tonal designs. I managed to visit Frank Miller's what was it? One of his main key shops, their flagship stores in Singapore. So a lot of designs, when we talk about Tonneau, it's very easy for people to say, "Oh, I know that Frank Miller has it." Yes, no doubt, they are one of the few brands that actually covers Tonneau designs very, very rigorously, especially in the Vanguard series, I believe. Vanguard.
Yeah.
So the Vanguard in itself is actually one of their best top-selling pieces, but they have many different variations for Vanguards as well.
Yeah.
So while we wait for Thomas to square away the systems,
Here's a question: Does Frank Muller make any non-Tonneau shaped watches? Do they make round or square or anything else besides Tonneau?
I think yes, right?
They do. Yes, you're right, Abdul and JCB. They do make other shapes. Let me see. They have.
It's a legit question. I don't know. I just assumed that that's all they made because I can't recall seeing anything that's
I think before
else.
he was known for his Tonneau shape. He was known like the master of complications. He was like really big on complications, and then he went for the Tonneau shapes. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's coming to me now. He does some good chronographs actually. He's done some killer watches. Yeah. They're all coming to me now. Yeah. And it was interesting. Revolution just brought out a collab with Frank Muller with these 3 chronographs.
Exactly.
They're freaking gorgeous. They're so
nice.
good. Yeah. Here we go. Okay, what do we got?
So
Squares.
So
all right.
your question was whether they have other shapes.
Yeah.
The Master Square, which is also a very signature look from Frank Miller, is one of the most. This is a very signature look, especially the very weirded out like Roman numerals. I call it the weirded out Roman numerals. Yeah, because it looks like it's
that's
been
their
stretched.
official name.
Weirded out Roman numerals. It's been stretched out. So actually, these pieces are really, I would say, very exclusive to Frank Miller's design. It's pretty much from a distance, you can definitely tell that this is a Frank Miller already because of the way that the design. And I think they didn't want to get, like mixed up. I use the word mixed up because they don't want to get mixed up with like Cartier and the Santos design. So that's why they went with the very stretched out Roman numerals.
Yeah. I think that style is called exploding. So it's called exploding numerals because it's like
from the center. Yeah. It looks like Roger Dubuis as well. Roger Dubuis has similar,
very true. Yeah. So the Master Square Yeah, that's
Oh,
what it
cool.
costs.
Yeah, I didn't mean to get us on a sidetrack. I was just more just asking
No worries,
the question.
all good.
Yeah.
So for Tonneau, they have
Yeah.
actually really, if you covered the
Century.
subject of Tonneau,
Yeah, I was
That's
going to bring it up.
that's really complicated, this watch, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yeah,
Like
I've
it's
got a little
like one.
video of that one.
Thomas, go ahead.
I've got a little video of that one.
Oh, okay. So, just to briefly go through the skeleton designs for the Century design is actually one of their popular ones. The chronograph is quite all right. The perpetual
Mm-hmm.
calendar, I actually went to the showroom and the museum. I call it like a museum because they have it has a very like sequential archaeological journey of all the Frank Miller pieces, and they all actually have the design elements actually all have the same similarities in terms of the shape. Yeah, no matter how you want to look at it, from the model of the grande date to perpetual calendar to chronograph and to skeleton, they Frank Miller doesn't run short of providing with tonal shaped watches, and but it is a very acquired taste. That's the real truth about Frank Miller watches. But if you are a man or woman who likes artistry, you will like it. Yeah.
Man, Frank Mueller was huge. Like in
Yep.
the, I don't know, I'm gonna say like late 80s, maybe early 90s.
1990s, yeah. 1990s
Yeah, like
first came out,
it,
yeah.
it was like he this brand was massive, like all over the world. I remember
Absolutely.
it was really popular, and particularly in Japan, I know there's a lot of collectors of this stuff. They seem to have gone, lost that popularity, but it was like Frank Muller was massive.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah, I
really,
think
really
he
one
went
of the big
more
brands.
or less to more mainstream route, and when he went to the mainstream route, I guess he lost a lot of fans.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Let me just share with everyone.
My
sorry,
favorite
Abdul, go ahead.
one, my favorite one is this crazy hour. I don't know how it's called. The one that
Oh,
has different numerals on the dial. That for me is
Yeah.
really a cool
Crazy
complication.
hours. Yeah,
Yeah.
the crazy hours.
let me
Yeah, and it's
see.
like, the hour hand jumps all over the place.
Exactly.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
Exactly.
There we go. Crazy hours.
Yes.
Yeah, the yachting. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild, isn't it?
That's pretty cool complication.
Just to share with you, everyone, from
crazy.
the Frank Miller blurb, it says, "Design without purpose is meaningless. Invention without use renders it irrelevant." Frank Miller designs and innovations over the last 3 decades have emerged from the brand's desire to create timepieces that benefit collectors all around the world with a unique attitude that only Frank Miller watches possess. And yeah, the Crazy Hours is one of their coolest collections. I actually wore one of the Vanguards. Which Vanguard was it? I think it's the classic Vanguard. Yeah, the classical Vanguard. Particularly
Yeah.
this one. So, in terms of it, this one on the photo doesn't do much justice. But the one
Yeah.
thing I can tell you, the case, the bronze, the effort that put into the bronze is very intricate. It literally, from the get go, you assume that it's very vintage looking, but actually the bronze that they use for this has been really well done. Yeah. And it's not heavy.
Yeah.
It actually, the one thing about Frank Miller timepieces, they're very well balanced. There is no like heavy on top heavy, low heavy. It's very well balanced so far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas, do you want me to hand the sharing over back to you for the screens?
Yeah, I just wanted to show a quick video.
Okay. Back to you, Thomas.
Just this Frank Muller Vanguard Revolution skeleton. This was one that came out in 2015. It's a Revolution skeleton, very complicated piece of theirs, costing $500,000 and featuring a triple Scorpion, retrograde seconds, and you can see here and 10 days power reserve. They kept the shape, updated everything else, and the Tonneau case has been the signature of Frank Muller's, as we were talking about. This one's the top end. You can see the retrograde seconds and the curved case. The way they curved the case.
Wow.
Made it a century case.
I like that slow mo. That slow motion.
What's going on there? That's crazy.
10 days power reserve.
Triple axis tourbillon. Far out.
Gravity. Yeah, Frank Miller has played with this term gravity for a while now. Yeah.
You can see there the back of the case is actually curved rather than being flat, and that was a lot harder to make. And it's got this amazing triple axis tourbillon, and it's quite a fancy watch for them.
So just to top up on what Thomas is sharing, in terms of the triple axis tourbillon, they started in 2004. They had the dual axis tourbillon, which was just one of the many innovations that Frank Miller introduced to the watch industry. And the purpose was that Frank Miller wanted to develop a tourbillon movement that would thoroughly compensate for timekeeping inaccuracies for the wristwatch when worn. So the video that Thomas is showing, and the result was the triple axis tourbillon with a rotating escapement that turns in 3 ways rapidly to create a highly accurate watch movement. The Revolution 3 emerged in 2004 with an accurate 10-day power reserve, which is a world premiere for Frank Miller and is considered to be one of the most complicated tourbillons that existed, and the first, as shown in the video, with a triple axis turn, and further improved with an additional perpetual calendar complication in 2005 called the Evolution 3-1.
I really like that they put this Cyclops on the tourbillon, so you really could look at it and enjoy looking at it. That's a Cyclops I don't mind.
Yeah, me too.
It's very interesting. The Cyclops is in the center, and I think it's really much bigger than a regular Cyclops.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we see a few different sort of case shapes here that are Tonneau, but also square, really. I mean, there's the IWC Da Vinci, which is not to my taste, really. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, when I was coming into the watch scene around that time, 2010, like getting like properly into watches, that's when it started for me. This watch was around. It wasn't popular, but because it was a Tonneau shape, I actually really liked it. But I think it was really expensive. That just put me sort of. I remember looking at the list price, going, "Bloody hell, like that's crazy." But yeah, I think that's actually not a bad piece. That one.
It looks like a stretched out ingénieur. You know, like they stretch it out a little bit and they put a rubber strap on it.
Yeah, interesting. The ingénieur was nice, quite a nice watch. I like that one. Yeah, it's a 2010.
Junior joining us from Michigan.
Hey,
JJ. Buddy.
See you.
Hello, Junior. Welcome.
But I don't think IWC makes a Tonneau anymore. I think that was it. That was it, and they haven't made one ever since then. I reckon.
It's like a one-off. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. I think that's right. I think that was it. They didn't do one, and they don't do one anymore.
Yeah, I mean, we're venturing to all sorts of territory that people don't like. I mean, Hublot, love them or
Oh,
hate them,
that's
they've gone
ugly.
for the Tonneau case.
I'll be honest with you, Thomas. I actually quite like this one. To be honest,
Mm.
I actually prefer this than the Richard Mille. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if anybody's Richard Mille fans.
No, no.
I
No
actually
worries.
prefer the Hublot
Well,
one than the Richard
Mm.
Mille. The way they're done.
Mm.
I've
I,
actually
I
put
think
on the. Yeah, sorry.
I think
Yeah.
that what makes watches quite interesting because tastes are different. You know, like I don't like this one at all, and you like it, so it's definitely okay because let's say that's how the watches world work, right? Everybody has different tastes and have different watches for that.
But when I see these Hublots, when I see them in pictures and you see them on the wrist, the thing that I like about them is that they're not huge. They're not these big in your face pieces like the Richard Milles. The Richard Milles are like, 15, 20 mils thick. They're bloody huge. These ones actually look quite good, I've got to say. The dimensions and when I look at these Hublots, this shape, yeah, I'm with you, Y2K. I don't mind these at all. I reckon they're pretty cool, actually.
Yes,
Yeah.
and actually, in terms of when we talk about like pricing, and if you do have the capital to actually think about spending on getting a Tonneau shaped watch, aside from the Cartiers we've seen, or the Corum designs, the Hublot actually, in terms of the way that they've made a bit of skeletal look, you can see the movements, you can see everything, has actually been very pretty, and they have a wide variety of colors to serve the customer who actually has a loving and liking for Tonneau shaped timepieces.
Yeah, they've got lots of materials too. They've
Mhm.
got them in sapphire and titanium and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, they do
What I
do
don't
long materials. You're right. Yeah.
what I don't understand on this watch is why did they make the quick strap function on top of the watch? It just makes it much easier for people to steal it on your wrist because you just have to press the button and then the watch
Press the button.
is loose. The watch is loose.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, I think they probably started designing that,
Way
before
before
before all this shit started happening.
yeah.
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 But
So
now that it's happening, they should do a redesign. Actually,
Yes.
that
so
would be
the
It'd be a good selling point. Too.
the 90s and 2000s were very popular for Frank Muller and the K shape. And in 2001, Richard Mille founded. Inspired by cars, aeronautics, sailing, and high-end aspects of innovation, resistant materials, and accuracy, they collaborated with their now shareholder, Audemars Piguet, to release tonneau-shaped case watches, which today most people recognize. They've collaborated with many sports personalities, including racing driver Philippe Massa, which this watch is one of. And in 2015, I believe, released this one. A semi-skeletonized annual calendar flyback chronograph wristwatch. Loved by many and hated by many, the brand. But this one's interesting, and it's got that Tiffany blue color, which is popular at the moment.
Yeah, I think we probably need to sort of talk about Richard Mille more about like what it represents, where it fits in the landscape of the watch industry rather than their actual watches themselves, I reckon. I mean, we can talk about the watches, but Richard Mille, to me, in my mind, it's really it's more of a status symbol. Like that's what it is. Like when you
I mean,
when
look
you
at
when you
the
when you make a
price,
certain amount of money and when you want to show that
£300,000.
yeah, like when you want to show the world that you're that rich, that's basically what it is. It's like
Yeah.
it's just a status symbol. It's like, okay,
Yep.
I'm a fucking baller now and I can afford a
Yep.
mill, and so I'm gonna buy a mill, or I'm gonna have 5 mills, I'm gonna have 10 mills, or whatever it is. Like, like all these rappers and basketball
Mhm.
players and all these guys have all got, you know, like heaps of these things. It's all just to show. It's just a flex, really.
Yeah.
Because, you know, these watches, they're not worth that much, right? They're not worth 300 grand, right? We all know that. It's just the pricing is arbitrary. That's
Mhm.
made up. Like, it's a made up market. Like Richard Mille actually made up this niche in the market, which was for super rich dudes to flex. And that's
Yeah.
all these things are for, right?
Yep.
I sort of feel like that's sort of what they are, and the value and the horology and stuff sort of comes secondary to that. I feel.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah, some people say then they're not for people who are into watches, but they're just for people to flex, like you say.
I would say they have really nice, not designs, but innovations, let's say, because the use of material, the use of complication, the use of all this amalgamation of materials and complication in one case, it's definitely something new. Richard Mille definitely makes watches that are innovative, but like JCB said, it's just a flex watch. You know, it's like this is the watch that if you get one, people know, okay, this guy is well off, or this gal is well off. And especially when you have like stuff like editions like Felipe Massa or Raikkonen or stuff like that from Formula One drivers, which is geared toward the millionaires, billionaires of the people who like Formula One.
Yeah, Messon's saying if only they had dials, they're all Hiltonized.
Yeah, they have the new ones. They have like this candy line or something like that, where they have like candy
Yeah.
parts and stuff like that, where you feel like, wow, okay, who the hell would buy this watch? But people are buying it
Yeah.
and flexing with it because still really cool
But
watch.
the one thing that's cool about it, though, I think, is the fact that he really took the Tonneau case and he made it like that's what make Richard Mille really. It's the shape of the watch, right?
Mhm.
Like that. I know he's got some round watches and some square ones too, but when you think of Mille, it's really the Tonneau shape.
Yeah.
It's sort of like he took he took the torch from Frank Muller, and he became the new Frank Muller, really, but in a whole different stratosphere, and taking these cases. And it's cool. Like he's made it a thing again because no one else really is doing it. Like his thing is Tonneau shaped watches, and I don't know.
I like Dodger's common for music and sports personalities. Oh, and criminals.
drug
actually,
lords.
Yeah, I mean, like what you guys have been saying, personally, on a horological perspective, if you offered me an RM and a Frank Miller, and let's not talk about the value, but if I was to benefit value, meaning the price.
Yeah, the price.
So if I was to look at it from an aspect of horological front, I personally would rather choose Frank Miller because I feel that they have so much in terms of the way they designed the piece. And maybe it's got to do with the way that social media people have actually portrayed Frank Miller pieces. They've always been, at the front of like what all of you have shared, that it's meant for people who are very well-to-do. But while you may be well-to-do and you can afford a RM, the thing is, if you still want to have some horological love or for the passion, the interest, you really need to dig deep to figure out what do you really want in a timepiece with a Tonneau shaped. So for me, I would really go for Frank Miller instead because it's just unique the way it is. And now there's so many watches that look like Richard Mille. So I would find that I think the Frank Miller would be unique. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, if I had the choice and money was no option, I would actually get one of the Richard Mille's newer ones, like the one Charles Leclerc was wearing. Yeah, it's like 35, 40 grams, something like that, something crazy, and it's like up to 10 Gs of resistance, something like that. And I think back in the days where Grosjean was still driving in Formula One, he was actually wearing his RM while he was driving. So he's driving his Formula One car while wearing his RM. So that's something that you cannot say about other watches, because when you're in the cockpit Formula One car, you have such high forces on you, G forces, that any normal watch, any automatic or something like that would just get broken into pieces internally.
Yeah. Look, I haven't done a deep dive into RM yet, but from what I've gathered, there's actually a lot of tech. There's a lot of innovation that goes into the pieces for sure. Like there's, they've done, he does do a lot of stuff. I think early on they used a lot of AP movements, but now they've shifted to producing stuff in house. I think maybe they still have AP based movements. I'm not sure, but what you're saying is right, Abdul. Like they've got the materials and the innovation is definitely there. Like it's a good watch. There's no doubt about it. It's just not worth what they're charging though. That's the whole thing about the price that they charge is it's totally arbitrary. It's just made up. These made up numbers, just because he's invented this little niche that he's playing in.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think the horology is there. It's just not. It's just the money is just ridiculous. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's not like you're buying a Grubel 40, right? Like Grubel 40, you're buying it maybe with the same price as the Richard Mille, but you're getting what you're buying for,
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll go to the traditional look again a bit. Jamie'd like these. Go to the Pateks. This is a Patek launched in 2007. This is a rose gold version, but which was launched in 2009. The original model launched in 2007. The Patek Gondola 5098R. Beautiful gear share dial. Now discontinued. Art Deco numerals. Tim also said in the video about this after World War One, during the 20s and 30s, wristwatches were on the rise, but there was not yet a consensus on the shape that wristwatches to take. So there was a flowering of creative design, and out of that flowering came the Tonneau case as a popular form was born. A lovely watch with, as you can see, the gear shape pan. Really nice one.
Salmon dial, Thomas?
No, I don't.
I think it's a rose gold, right? I think maybe it's white gold, the background with the guilloche, right? And then on top is maybe yellow gold. Is that yellow gold or rose gold? I cannot say. Maybe a little bit darker yellow gold.
Yeah, white gold.
Watch nonetheless. White gold, right?
Yellow gold on top, I think.
So you get like 3 types of gold on one watch. You get the rose gold case.
Numerals, yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful watch. Yeah, what I like about the Tonneau shape is when it has time only, because for me a Tonneau shape is like a perfect dress watch shape, and when you have time only, even no seconds, I feel like that's the perfect combination, because you get this symmetry on the dial, very simple, looks very nice on the wrist.
Yeah. Patek doing their Tonneau thing. And
yeah, very nice piece, that one.
Got another Patek coming on it. This one launched in 2004. The 5135G, Dolphin Hands, annual calendar moon phase, Art Deco floral style 9 and 3 indices, Non-round watches tend to wear larger than their normal size, and this is wears a bit big on the wrist. Quite a nice one.
I really like it.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I like that one. That's my style. That's more my style, that one.
Moon phase, yeah?
Than the previous one.
Yeah,
I really like the aperture dates and calendar. Really, really good symmetry on the dial as well.
It's got a lovely movement in the back with the gold rod, sir.
Yeah.
This looks like a non-filled case movement. I think that's a circular movement, if I'm not mistaken. It's not
Could
like
well
they
be.
filled the case,
Yeah.
right?
Could well be.
That's one of my pet peeves. If you're making a Tonneau watch or a irregular shaped watch and you have a circular shaped movement inside, I do enjoy it more when it's filling the case up. So
When it
it's
fills up,
same
yeah.
case, yeah.
So that's another path
That's
there.
nice. The Patek gondolas that I like, I'm not sure if they're actually tonneau shaped. They're more rectangle
Rectangle.
shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got one up here. I don't know if you've got it in your list there, Thomas, but I'll just quickly show it if you want to click that.
Yeah, that's the classic one. The classic shape.
This one, this blue one as well. Oh man, look at this thing. But yeah, I don't know if you see the sides. I think I think this part here, it's just slightly, like a tiny bit curved out, like a very slightly. Whereas this sort of part of the case here that's a straight line, but this part here is curved. So when you look at it from the front, it's ever so slightly tonneau shape. I think maybe ever so slightly, but I mean, look at that. That's just insane.
Really nice.
This is when I think of gondola Pateks. These are the ones. This is the sort of shape that gets me going.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
really cool. Really, really cool.
Well, it's something like
The
that.
dial also looks really nice.
Yeah, man, killer. Let's have a look. Does he see? Let's see if it's got that. Yeah, this is what you're talking about, Abdul. When you've got the movement.
Yes, exactly.
Like that. Yeah.
Exactly. That's
like
perfect.
it's made for the case.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's literally like fitting like a glove, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect fitting. Doesn't even look out of place.
Well, that's where your money's going, I suppose.
Because
they don't make
otherwise
this anymore, don't they?
I don't think so. I think they discontinued the gondola. Yeah.
You can see there the side of the case. It's slightly flexed out. So it's just ever so slightly a tonneau case. Where is it? Let's see. Anyway, so yeah, that's the Patek. That's the gondola I would go for.
Yeah, it's always been my favorite style of gondola. To be honest with you.
Yeah. What else have I got? Yeah.
This is one of my favorite tonneaus that we've seen so far.
Oh yeah. Look at that thing.
5410 BR Heritage Automatic BK. Gold gear share dial, sub-seconds, slightly curved case. multiple intricate guilloche engraved patterns. Just looks lovely.
Yeah, the guilloche from Breguet is just amazing.
So good. So good.
Are the hands loomed, or it's just some kind of white circular material in the observatory hands?
I think they're.
Not sure.
I can't tell. It looks like the hour hand is filled. Yeah.
Right?
Because normally they're not filled. They're hollow,
No.
aren't
Yeah,
they?
hollowed, yeah. That would actually very functional, because if you have a dress watch like that and it has a little bit of loom, at least to tell you the hours and and minutes, that's really functional.
Yeah.
Have you got that skeleton Breguet lined up somewhere, Tom?
I haven't got a skeleton Breguet, but I have got.
Oh no, the Vacheron. I'm thinking of the Vacheron.
Some Vacheron, yeah.
Yeah.
Just about to bring that up. The malt. This is a diamond tonneau shape.
Boom.
Alpha style hands. Skeleton Turbines Platinum, the 2014 release. Jim also was saying about the malt turbine that it was above Patek level and more on level with Ferdinand Berthoud and Google Force. It's a 1 minute turbine. It's absolutely stunning.
That's just nuts, man.
Look at
the
that.
hell?
It's got a very industrial look from this angle.
Crazy.
Yeah, just stunning.
Gunmetal, and stainless
7,000
steel.
recommended retail $287,000.
Say that again, Thomas. Sorry, how much?
$280.
$1,000.
280.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, to be honest, if I have the choice between this and a Richard Mille, I think I would choose this. Even though I'm not a big fan of Vacheron Constantin, but this one is just on point.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not even close for me. I wouldn't even be looking at a mill.
I mean, the malt, the classic malt is this one.
Yeah.
Which is the turbine with the plain face.
Yeah, this looks okay, but after seeing the last one, right, it's just okay. Even though it's an awesome watch, but the last one was just perfect.
Yeah, it was really. I agree with you, Abdul. It really blows your head off, really. And yeah, because I would say after seeing all these intricacies of how they make it, all right, if they want to charge 280,000, what can I say? You know, it's like, okay, it's going to be all. I'm like, okay, that's fair enough. You're all doing it by hand. Okay.
Yeah, look at the work at the movement. That's all done by hand, right?
Yeah, so I guess it's well worth the man hours for it.
Yeah, you can see the man hours.
Yeah, look at that. That's crazy. Yeah.
And that's definitely a master watchmaker that's sitting, working with his hands. That costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Just beautiful, isn't it?
Wow.
Jesus.
And you can see that the shape of the movement is the exact shape of the case. It's just made for it.
It's like bespoke. It's like a suit. That's like a tailored suit. Meant for it.
Imagine if you had that on your wrist, though, and you're just looking, like, you would look down to see the time, and you just keep looking at the watch. You just wouldn't know where to look. Like, you just get lost in the thing. Yeah, like, that is insane.
The visual aids would be to make the hands a bit thicker and darker.
On my 2K point.
I like it. I really like complication in the timepiece. I like the whole skeletal look, the layout, the the amount of work that went into this piece. But the hands must be crisp and clear, so that one glance, visibility is boom, I can see it. So the way to enhance this is thicker hands, darker colors.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
And there's only one crown controlling it. Okay, so that's interesting. So it's a mega complicated watch, but it's only controlled by one crown. Because you would normally think that there might be multiple pushes to control more things.
So Jamie mentioned the FP Sean Elegance, and they've also done another Tonneau shaped watch, which was this, the Vagabondage, which
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
really
cool,
nice.
man.
9 pieces in platinum and 68 pieces in red gold. A skeletonized dial with jump hours and jump second. The minutes are displayed on a centrally mounted rotating hand, and there's a power reserve at 1 o'clock, just there.
Yeah.
This is a really
so cool
stunning watch. I love it.
So it's got jump seconds as well.
Yeah, jump seconds.
So is that what so down the bottom? Yeah. So you've
Yes.
got a little like the wheel on the right hand side is just spinning around every second, right?
Mhm.
And then it jumps. The wheel on the left jumps with every 10 seconds.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So it'd be like 40. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's nuts, man.
it is, isn't it? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. That's a cool watch, man.
That's
Jean,
what
yeah,
everything
there's
you
a
don't
there a
see,
brand I'm
right?
just getting into slowly, Jean. I'm just coming around to getting into them. Like, you need they're so expensive. It's sort of like
Yeah.
I've just never thought about them or never looked at them just because of the price. Like I could never afford one, and not that I could now, but I'm getting I can see why they're so coveted. Like they're really good watches. Yeah, really nice.
Yeah, it's a beauty. I love the Vagabondage. It's gorgeous.
I always
It actually looks
when-
like the case is wood. Sorry, Abdul.
Yeah, it has this vertical brush effect, right? Feels
Yes,
like
it looks like wood, Abdul.
yeah. It's like the
Yeah.
bark of the tree outside.
Correct.
Yeah, Mason likes one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So move on to a couple of more recent releases, just to finish off with. And one that JCB will like, and that I like, the Zenith A305.
Yeah, man.
4 came
Yeah.
out in 2019, and the A305 in 2021. Using the El Primero chronograph movement, and the A304 originally released in 1969, using that beautiful Gayfer ladder bracelet, and 50 hours power curve.
Yeah. I'm gonna get one of these watches eventually.
I'd love to.
Oh, yeah, eventually. The one I want though is, I think it's super expensive. It's a collector's piece. It's called the Airweight Cover Girl, and it was
yeah. 1.8.
it was a collab with Revolution. So it's a titanium version.
Oh wow.
And
Oh,
they're going for heaps, but yeah, cool. These watches are so cool.
Is it limited edition types?
This one's not the one up on the screen. This one here, the coffee, or the what do they call it? The cappuccino dial, I think.
cappuccino
yeah.
dial.
Yeah, this one's not limited. It comes in a few configurations. This one, and there's maybe another 2 or 3 which aren't limited. They're just sort of regular production. Yeah, you could go and buy one of these ones. But yeah, the particular one that I'm after is it was a limited edition, and it came out just after I bought my Batgirl as well. So I just
Ooh.
blew all my fucking watch budget. Yeah, like literally, it was like a month after or something.
Oh, that's
And then, oh, I was so pissed off. Anyway, that's how it
my
goes.
favorite one from this line is this final edition Lupin
The
third
Lupin,
series.
yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing. This half
yeah,
scented, half white, half black.
yeah. Yeah, it's out there, isn't it? It's really
Yeah.
cool. All of the Lupin watches are really cool too. I reckon they're nice. Yeah, these
Yes,
watches just don't get the credit that they deserve. Really,
Yeah,
they're
well.
really. They're just once you put them on your wrist, then it all makes sense. It's just like, it's like wow.
Especially with that bracelet, because this bracelet is just
Yeah.
like really good on it.
I know that 73 Math has got one of the A384s. He bought the bracelet. He bought it on the strap originally, and then bought the bracelet. And he loves it. It's beautiful. Yeah, really nice watch.
Yeah.
So just want to end with a release that came out last year from a Irish brand. This is a Irish watchmaker Stephen McGonagall's brand, launched in 2021. This is the brand's first watch. Stephen's a great rugby fan, and coincidentally, the Tonneau case is also very similar to that of a rugby ball. Making case watch isn't easy and requires far more work than classic round watch, which is why there aren't many on the market. Alone Tonneau chronographs. This case is made by a high-end case maker in Germany, depending on whether you opt for the polished titanium or sandblasted DLC coated version. And the watch comes on a hand-stitched rubber strap. The black one has a pattern that is similar to that surface of a rugby ball, and the green strap has an alligator pattern. Often a flat dial is used in Tonneau case watch, but this is a more challenging design that follows the curves of the case, yet is deliberately minimalist. It's powered by a Lejeune column wheel integrated chronograph movement and with automatic winding. And Stephen opted for straighter grained bridges with polished bevels, black DLC screws, and DLC coated column wheel with column top polish. Also a green PVD rotor. And these limited to 50 pieces, and the rather high, some say, price reflects on some manufacturing choices, the independence of the brand, and the low quantities produced. However, some people have commented that the price is too high. And the prices are €9,800 for the titanium, or €11,800 for the DLC titanium. And it's a lovely watch.
What kind of movement does it have?
It's a Lejeune Perret.
Lejeune Perret, okay.
Yeah.
It's still 10K.
I like
for
that one.
Yeah, that's really nice, but the price is a little bit up there.
Yeah.
How much was it?
The titanium's €9,800.
Oh, ouch! Fuck. Okay.
That's a bit of money there.
But think about what we just looked at. The Zenith that cost £7,500.
So around the same price. To be honest, I would rather get the Zenith with the same money.
Yeah, this is independent watchmaking, though.
Definitely. It's definitely a cool. Let's say if you're a rugby fan, you might be enticed to get it, but the price point is a little bit up there.
True.
I think maybe if they put a another type of movement, used another type of case, maybe stainless steel instead of polished titanium, that would bring the price a little bit down.
Thomas, just to be on the fair side, when was this particular brand founded and launched?
Well, Stephen and John McGonigal, the brothers, have got the McGonigal brand, the Irish brand, and they make amazing independent watches. But John McGonigal formed his own sub-brand called Olean, and Stephen McGonigal founded this brand in 2021.
Okay.
The McGon brand.
I see. So I think for watch brand, because the problem I think what they're facing is acceptance into the market. So sometimes the brands can come in a bit too strong in terms of the pricing, making it a bit more like a hit or miss for buyers. So I think this brand will take some time to grow with buyers. Yeah. But realistically, it's unique in its own way because it's got a tonneau shape, in line with the topic as well. But the pricing is probably the concern. The movement that you mentioned, what were they using? What kind of movement were they?
Le Joux Perret.
Le Joux Perret.
Le Joux Perret? Okay.
Is it limited? Is it like limited to 100 pieces each or something like that? Or
50 pieces.
50 pieces. Okay, that makes more sense also.
Each one.
So
I'm just looking at the website. Man, these guys make crazy stuff.
Yeah, they do. They make some.
Yeah. Okay.
Amazing
They make minute repeaters, tourbillon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Really are acclaimed watchmakers.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Really
Okay.
top the Irish watchmaking scene.
But this would actually be one of like their cheaper watches.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I gotcha. Okay.
just to answer Mrs. Dodge's question, you're referring to which watch that I like? And I have a surprise for everyone tonight, where a quick one. I actually double-checked my source directly. I went to the shop today, double-checked my source. So we've been looking at Tonneau watches. We're looking at the price tags to be a bit higher. So there is a local watch chain that actually sells Tonneau design watches as well. So let me just quickly share it. Right. So this is Silver Titus. So some of you may know that I talked about this brand before. So they actually recently have quite a few launches, but the Tonneau watch shapes that they have is quite abundant. So if let's pick one of these ones, let's maybe just pick this one. All right, so they call it the Barrique. You can correct me wrong. Barrique, 3 hands mechanical Leatherman's watch.
Mm-hmm.
So this is only priced around 660 Singapore dollars, and it's about 40 millimeters Tonneau shape as per today's topic. Case thickness of 12.6, and I've actually tried it. It's not too bad. It's quite good actually. Case material is 316L and silver white mineral, and the strap is leather. You can of course change the strap to mesh if you want. Some people like to make the whole thing rose gold mesh. Movement, it's mechanical, and it's a 3 hands, and it's got 3 ATM water resistance. The movement wise, I would say is probably running one of the seagull movements, which I think Silver Titus likes to roll with that as well. But they do have a very wide variety of colors, okay, that you can choose from. This, like the open heart ones. Right, then they've got this one. This one costs a bit more. Apparently, it's about 1,020, and this is also 1,020. I think it's due to probably the complication of it. But apparently, it's quite popular, and there's only 1 unit left for this piece. Yeah. So let me just show you guys the back.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's the back piece. Yeah. So this one has a multi-function. So let me just. That's how it looks. Yeah, I just thought this would be quite interesting to share with those of you who are really interested in Tonneau shaped watches but don't want to burn your banks. I don't know if they do ship
That's
overseas.
not a bad looking watch at all. That
Sorry?
last one. That's
yeah,
not,
this
not a
one?
bad. That
Yeah.
not a bad looking watch at all. Yeah.
Is that like a calendar function or is that a? Oh yeah, it is. A
Yes,
calendar
we've
function,
got dates.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
So
that.
for about 1,020 Singapore dollars,
Wow.
it's actually a very good deal. And right now, because they actually have a proper sale because of Christmas is coming up, they're actually having massive sales all over their lines. So if you're overseas, you can actually try and message this watch chain. Okay, I think it's called. I suddenly can't remember the name, but they have a lot of these pieces, and they're really going at really good prices right now. Yeah, and with the amount of complication and the pricing, you can't get any better. And I think I saw some more here. They've got this one. If you're looking for
This looks like
minimalist,
an Omega, right?
Yeah.
Looks like an Omega.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
yes, very true. Very
Yeah.
true. So you're only paying about 310 Singapore dollars. Yeah, for this one.
Is this a Singapore brand?
Yeah, no. Soviet Titus used to be a Swiss long ago. It was a Swiss brand, and then somewhere in between, it was bought over by a Hong Kong tycoon, and then it started to use a lot of seagull movements in their timepieces, and
Okay.
to today, they are still very successful, selling a lot of different types of watches, from mechanicals to open heart to quartz. So their pieces are actually the thing about the quartz pieces is easy to get, like replacement parts. It's not like very hard to get. Yeah. So I think there is the black version, and there are some of these here. Yeah. So in terms of quality control, I can only say that they have been really solid. I have owned 2 Silver at Titus watches. Both of them mechanical, and they have not yet failed me yet at all. So far, so good. And the winding has been very smooth and perfect. Yeah, just for variety, let's just check this one out. Okay. I think this is a quartz piece, yeah.
Is Solville Titus the brand?
Correct.
Right. So are they a micro brand?
No, they actually have been around for some time, Thomas.
Right.
They are very popular in Asia because in terms of it, this is one of the few brands you can go to get the very classic looks of their timepieces. I think they've got one more, although their website's a little bit messy. I remember, here it is. Yeah, I saw it just now. So this is another one. You've actually got moon face. Yeah. So yeah, this is a quartz multifunction and 370 Singapore dollars. Yeah. And when it doesn't I can only say the website doesn't do justice, but when you really do get one, actually they're low profile, very comfortable to wear. Yeah. So
yeah, that's a good option for if you want to experiment and you want to just try out a Tonneau shape. Like what I did with this one, just buy something cheap but still will work well and give you that look and give you that feel, something to try out. That's a good one to look into.
Agree.
Great.
I'm just going to put the link for our viewers if you are very interested to check them out. The link is in the chat. Just have a look. All right. Mrs. Dodger, was it? Thought you might like the lime green strip. Okay. And yes, Dodger.
Yeah.
Dodger's got a question for you guys.
You got a 10 for these watches.
Right.
For me, it's a bit of a fashion thing. It comes and goes. It's been a trend. I've bought Tonneau shaped watches in the past, and they've been the flavor of the month or the flavor of the moment, and I've really, really, really liked them. And I've given them an 8 or a 9 out of 10. But now, Tonneau cases aren't as popular, aren't they? So I would probably give the majority of Tonneau watches probably a 6 out of 10. Apart from some of the amazing ones we've seen, like the Vagabondage, the Breguet, the Vacheron we saw, and the original Cartier to Tonneau. But things like the Richard Milles, the Hublot, the Corum, the others, I don't care too much for. So yeah, I'd give them a 6 or 5. But I don't know what you think, guys.
For me, go ahead.
No, go on, Abdul.
For me, just like you said, I really like some of the watches. Like, let's say the Frank Mueller Crazy Hour would be for me an 8 or a 9. The Vagabondage would be a 10. This Vacheron Constantin would be maybe 12 out of 10 because it's pretty fantastic. But maybe the Hublot would take maybe a 3. The Richard Mille, depending on which model. Like most of the models, I wouldn't even rate because they don't interest me at all. But some I would actually, if I had the money, I would buy. But that's about it. But if I had, like, let's say $1 billion, I would buy them easily, no problem. But if I'm only a millionaire or something like that, I wouldn't buy one. I wouldn't buy one for 30%, 40% of my whole net worth in one watch. That would be a little bit crazy, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm not going to give any particular watches ratings out of 10, but because for me, I can't really remember them too well, to be honest.
Yeah, me, that's
The
10.
Zenith, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. One of the brands that I really like, which we didn't talk about, is a Crivia. And they actually started off their first watches and most of their watches actually, well, all of their watches except the Recepi line are actually Tonneau shaped watches. If you check them out, they're actually they've got a quite distinctive shape, and it doesn't really. I mean, I just love those things. They're really expensive, really hard to get, all that. But that's a Grail watch for me, and it happens to be a Tonneau. So I just love the shape. I think it's great. I think it's different. Everyone's wearing round watches, and look at our watch collections; they're all round. We might have 1 or 2 Tonneau shapes in there. I just think it's good to mix it up and have a few different shapes. Have a rectangle, have a square, have a Tonneau. It just makes the whole journey a bit more interesting and makes life interesting. Add a bit of spice. Yeah.
I, for one, would say that the Richard Mille is overhyped to me and definitely overpriced.
Yeah.
So for me, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 4. I'm sorry, because I find that it's just in your face. It's too much, and it screams like I'm rich, you're not. I'm sorry, but I will. At some point, obviously, people will say you don't own an RM, you don't get to say that. That's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. That's what I believe about it. But in terms of horological aspects, I do like the Cartier one and the Frank Mueller one. The Vanguard series, it's just actually a lot of Frank Mueller pieces are beautiful. I don't just simply look at the pricing. I look at the way that they do the work, the artistry, the aesthetics. The work is very important, and the other one that I found really, really nice, besides the Cartier one and the Frank Mueller, is also What was that brand? I suddenly can't remember. Uh, I think it was. Yeah, it's just at the tip of my tongue. The Hublot. So the Hublot one was actually quite nice because I felt the Hublot one was actually in today's modern day. When we look at something of a tonneau design, aside from what JCB mentioned, that brand, Activa, is that what you call it?
Acrivia.
Yeah.
Acrevia. Thank you. So aside from Acrevia, I would feel that if you want to see some value in your watches and you really want to get a different spice in your life or taste in your life, for tonneau design watches, Hublot is one angle you can go because at least they're in the margins of where the price tag is not like it's too extreme. It's not one end of the extreme. It's still within the luxury watch range. So that would be my feeling. So I think the Hublot will be about an 8. The Cartier is about 8.5, and I think the Frank Miller to me is a 9. Yeah, Frank Miller to me is a 9. Yeah.
Look at
that's
this.
your-
Look at this thing, man. This is
Wow.
like one of the craziest watches going around. This is a regulator tourbillon. I mean, this is just one example of the pieces. But when Acrivia first hit the scene, this is the case that they came out with, and it's such a great case. It's just so distinctive. It's unlike any other watch that's going around. The first thing that I noticed actually about the brand was the case shape itself. It's so, and when you see it on people's wrists, really organic. It looks like it's ergonomic, and it was just they put so much thought into the actual case shape. And then on top of all that, then you get all the watchmaking, then you get all the, you get all the handwork and the design, and these guys are just from day one. They've just been killing it, just from day one. This watch is old. Like the Cuvier has been around for ages, and I know, a relatively short time, but a lot. They've been around for quite a while, and people are only talking about them now because of Recepi and GPHG and all that. But this stuff has been around for a long time. And yeah, this is one of the early cases, early examples of a tonneau shaped watch.
Ooh, that one.
Coming out. Yeah, I mean, look, this stuff is off the hook,
Wow.
man. This stuff is super off the hook. If I could have any sort of brand out of these tonneau watches, it would be one of these guys for sure.
Yeah,
For
I would choose
sure.
definitely one as well. 'Cause I met
Yeah.
Recep in 2017 in Baselworld. He's an
Yeah.
amazing guy, amazing guy. We talked like for 30 minutes. He showed me the watches, and I met him actually into 16, 17, 18. And like the 18 one, I was walking outside his booth. He was actually having a meeting inside with some buyers or something like that. He went out of the room to say hi and to tell me I will finish the meeting and come back to you. Amazing guy. Even though I never bought anything from him, but he was always so helpful and always so open. And if I had to choose, like Dodger said, the best watch, I would choose this one. I would definitely choose the
Yeah.
AK06 or the AK04.
Yeah, they're pretty up there. He seems like a really, really cool dude.
Yeah.
And interestingly, I was reading the other day, his brother is actually opening up a separate atelier as well.
Mhm.
So they're branching out into another brand. So that'll be interesting to see what he comes out with as well.
But like you saying about the scores Y2K, you can't just take it on the shape of the case. You can't dismiss the watchmaking. To concentrate on the watchmaking as well.
Wow.
So this is a tourbillon
Wow.
mono pusher chronograph.
Wow.
Like,
man, come on, man, seriously.
So Dodger's got one more question for us. Our opinion on the best watch of the day. So you're going with this. I take it, JCB.
If we were talking about the ones that we were looking at before, the Vacheron easy gets my vote. Yeah, for sure. That's the
For me, I think the Vacheron or the Vagabondage, the FPL Jaune.
Yeah, I think best is something that couldn't be like argued, let's say, because it's like a rating. But most favorite, that would be different. Like my most favorite, maybe from the bunch would be the Crazy Hour, because that's something really fun that I would just wear because it's fun.
Yeah.
But if I say best, I would say it's between the Akrivia and the Vacheron Constant, because the Akrivia just looks amazing, and you can see how he plays with the chamfers, that everything, the polishing, wow, it's just amazing watch.
Yeah.
Y2K favorite? Hublot.
Frank Miller, Vanguard. Yeah.
Right.
Because I can honestly give that credit, because when I went to the flagship horological experience early this year, and despite everybody's comments about like, oh, they only do designs like that, oh, they only do designs in that look, until today, when we talk about Tonneau, I can only say that when you go and explore Frank Miller's designs, and aside from look at the very tacky ones, you have some very tacky, bright looking pieces. But if you really look at the designs for, like, say, the Master Banker, as well as, which was the other one? The one that had the one special one where the Crazy Hours. Yes, the Crazy Hours one.
Yes.
Yeah, and of course, they also have the Vanguard Gravity, which actually is another brilliant piece, which was launched in 2016. But overall, when I tried even the Vanguard on its own, it's very unique in its own way. In terms of Tonneau shaped watches, you can only go so far. But when you come to talk about horology history, and when I read about, I even saw in the mini museum of Frank Miller, they set up a proper art table where they had these books and sketches and all the encyclopedias of what the developmental process, the sketches, the design. Then it begins to sink in that when you choose a Tonneau piece, the design element must go hand in hand together with the movement, which I feel that Frank Miller in its own unique way, they've done it so well. Yeah. And the way that they treat their workers, on top of that, they treat their workers really well. I think they actually have their own compound, where the workers get to stay, and then they have a shuttle bus that brings them straight back to their work, to their place of rest, and and it's amazing the amount. So when you look at it as a watch brand, a company, the design, the artistry, the aesthetics and everything, it's not just for show, beauty, nice looking out on the outside, but the interior of it actually has so much to, the historical aspects, the whole horological journey. Yeah, and so I find that they're a brand I really do admire and I do like very much. So for me, yes, it's the best watch of the day for me. Yeah, Hublot would ride the number 2 behind. Yeah.
Would you say Frank Muller is a popular brand these days?
It struggles, JCB, because I think because we live in a day and age where everybody, when people flex, when people flex today, they want to have something that everybody else also has. They want to have a brand that everybody has.
That recognizes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So everybody will say like, "Oh, he's wearing a Rolex. I'm having this," but the problem is that unlike most people, we are people of a different nature. We like our own tastes, and the watch brands that we do admire and we have a lot of passion towards is unique. So when we look at the current culture, the watch trend, people buy because of investment value and because of flexing culture. But there gets to a point when you do walk into a room of people wearing the same brand, it just becomes very Oh, you know.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
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 So imagine
puts
if
you off.
everybody walked
Yeah.
into revolved Mercedes Benzes. Okay, everybody's got a
Yeah.
Mercedes Benz, and suddenly someone drives in, like say a Jaguar. It's different. You know, it obviously you'll always a Jaguar, but it's different. It's still different. You know, you don't ride with the crowd. But that's my philosophy. I like to
Yeah.
be unique in my own way. Yeah.
Well, I hope they get back to, like being a popular brand again. Because I'm with you. Like, I reckon their watches are unreal. I love Frank Muller watches. I think they're fantastic.
There's a lot of potential, JCB. Many.
Well, think about it. All it might take is just, I don't know, 3 or 4 celebrities like pushing it on their Instagram feed or something, and all of a sudden, no, seriously, like
true.
that
True.
like if they just hit the marketing a little bit, and did it smartly, who knows? Like they could come back into the mainstream again. I feel like they probably will.
Yeah,
At some point.
I was just gonna say, this is like the cyclical cycle of fashion, right? Because Hublot was big like 15 years ago. They were
Panerai.
Panerai, same. So every kind of 20 years you have like the cycle, and now it's just the time that nobody likes this Tonneau shape, these designs, and maybe in 5-6 years people will start buying it again. People who saw it on their father's wrist, saw it on their uncle's wrist, and they're like now in the age of buying new watches. And I think we'll just see it in the future. What I do recommend for them is just to reduce their lines, because when you showed us the website, they have so many complications
There's
in every
heaps.
line.
Yeah.
That's for me screams fashion brand. Like this screams like I have everything, and whatever you want, I will get it for you. But that's not what we want as people, right? People, you can see them waiting 8 years in line for a watch at Rolex, just because it's 8 years a waiting line, just because of this scarcity. They're wanting it. They're just paying 2-3 times the MSRP because it's harder to get. And that's how they should do. That's how, like, hey, we do 10 watches from each model, and that's it. If you get one of the 10, you're one of the 10 lucky ones. Otherwise, good luck next time. And I think they will sell out everything that they sell if they do some kind of marketing technique, like JCB said. But yeah, that's up to them at the end of the day.
And the one thing that you guys, and Abdul, JCB, Thomas, for me, like today before I came home, I went to explore all these shops to make sure that my facts are right now, and to really see if the grey market had any Tonneau shaped watches. And interesting enough, you don't find a lot of Frank Muller in. Okay, I went to 8 different grey market shops. Only one shop sold a lot of Frank Muller, which is very interesting because I'm actually wondering where the hell did they get all their stock? Okay, and I've actually taken pictures today of all the Frank Muller, that I've seen in the grey market shops. So these are all Vanguards.
Okay.
And then you get these very extreme ones. Okay, check them out. They've got like tiger patterns or something like that. Okay, so
Man. Yeah, right.
only one shop. Okay, they call it the Tiger King. Okay, Tiger King. So interesting enough, only one shop has been selling these.
Tiger
Yeah,
King,
because
like the
Tiger King.
Netflix.
Really.
Tiger King.
Tiger King.
That's really
That's
geared
so
for the
funny.
people who like the Netflix show, right?
Yes. So realistically, I'm like, where do these guys get the stock from? But it's interesting because that means, and I think these guys are actually genuinely probably selling it from a collector who recently sell it, because there's so many of them.
You know what I think it is, Y2K? I think that this seller has a good connection to a shop, like let's say an authorized dealer. And the authorized dealer, at the end of the year, they have to sell a set amount of watches and bring set amount of money back home. So they say, hey, let's do it 40%, 50% on each watch, and just you take a bulk amount of watches, and then they buy it, and the seller is happy because they made their quota. And this guy, the dealer now, is happy because he can sell the watches for 30% less.
Mm. So realistically, I can only say that if only one grey market shop is selling it, I don't see the other shop selling. It tells you something about people who purchase Tonneau pieces that are very rare individuals, and people who buy Tonneau pieces. I don't think they're gonna be quick to like flip it and sell it, because you don't buy a Tonneau piece to go and invest
True.
and sell it. You see, so the truth is you buy it to keep it. It's a keeper. So even for me, if at some point I buy a Vanguard, I'm going to be keeping it because it's in my whole collection. Like on a high end range, a very expensive Tonneau piece, that's the only one and only Frank Miller Vanguard.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm getting one Frank Miller watch, it would be the crazy hour on the rectangular shape. Yeah,
for sure.
I'll try to find something 60% off. That's my range for that piece. Like 60% off, I would feel like, oh, okay, I'm getting a good deal. I would buy it.
I'm Abdul on watches and I'm coming. Could you show me something with a Frank Miller?
Please, I want one. 60%.
Yeah.
Right, I think we've covered everything, really, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah, good show.
Sorry about the glitch earlier on, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Russians.
I don't think we need to mention world leaders.
Don't mention it again.
We may not need to mention world leaders, but we can mention the World Cup, so we can enjoy your favorite teams.
Today,
enjoy the World
teams.
Cup, everyone.
Germany out.
Through. Yeah.
Germany's
out.
Germany
I can't
out.
got my Germany outfits anymore.
Yeah, that was
I've got
really
so many
bad.
jerseys. No.
Oh, sorry about that, Abdul.
Yeah, people here are like really disappointed. Like at first, the first match when the German team made the mouth on the end, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, we have to be political," and then they lost, and they're like, yeah, football is just a sport, people. You don't have to be political.
They're rioting in Belgium, weren't they?
Yes, they are. Really badly in Belgium.
Yeah.
These cars like burning and everything. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Hope to see you next week, in a fortnight. Yeah. So,
cool.
Thank you,
thanks, everyone.
viewers.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Take good care.
Take good care. Yeah. See you next time.
See ya.